All right, everybody, welcome back to Beans No Ball divisional round preview here for this one. And as we got four really great matchups here, definitely hoping for it to be a little better than all the blowouts we got in the wild card. So, Christian, let's just get this one started right here.
Yeah, so we actually got decent agreements once again and a lot of good games. So let's start off with probably one of the bigger games right now, opening up the division, which is the Ravens and the Houston Texans. So obviously these are two quarterbacks that they got a lot on their play, man. I mean, Lamar, he's obviously hope right now at the moment, top candidate for MVP from what he's done, beating the good teams and seeing what he's done. And obviously CJ Stroud, what he showed in the playoffs. I mean, going up against a really great defense and blew him out right then and there from his rookie. Probably, or you can make the argument, possibly one of the best rookie quarterback seasons we've seen in like today's day and age. You can make the argument there, but this game is going to be really, really great to see. Obviously, more pressure's on Lamar Jackson, man. I mean, it's the second time coming as the number one seed, and he already has an MVP to him. Yeah, we know what happened last time. It was the first round exit. So I believe it was the Tennessee Titans, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, to the Titans, obviously. That was a pretty good Titans team. And then his MVP to his name, and then, possibly another MVP to his name. So he's probably going to be already a two-time MVP in his young career. And, it just, I guess you can say his legacy is on the line with this game, whether he can make it far or not. So a lot to say. Who knows? Lamar Jackson. I mean, it's not an easy opponent. This Houston Texans team, their young defense and that really high-powered offense they have with Nico Collins and CJ Stroud getting the work going, and then DeMeco Ryan. Really, that him as a rookie head coach, he's already having a phenomenal job. Him and CJ Stroud building that connection, trusting your head coach. I mean, it's just really great to see here. But another thing to hear, CJ Stroud, he's gonna go against another top defense, and I think this defense of the Baltimore Ravens, I don't think they're frauds. I think this is a legit, really great defense. I mean, we saw what they played against the 49ers, but with the way CJ Stroud's been playing, it could be a very, very close game. But regardless of all that, it's going to be a really great battle between both these two young quarterbacks.
Yeah, there's a lot to say about this Ravens defense just because we see how they shut down a bunch of different, high-powered teams. I mean, we saw what they did to the Niners, we saw what they did to the Lions, and obviously the Seahawks didn't end up making the playoffs, but look how that game went. And I mean, looking at CJ Stroud, I mean, he just dismantled a weakened top defense in the Browns. And I think going into this one, I mean, they will be without Marlon Humphrey, which that's going to be a big asset that the Ravens are going to be without. I'm not going to think that this is just the only thing that's going to go into this, but obviously, I've kind of had my belief that CJ Stroud was going to push through this game on my original bracket. I'm sticking to that. I think the Texans are going to find a way. I mean, it's going to be a close game. I'm seeing a lot. It's gonna be similar to the Niners game. I'm thinking I think the Texans are gonna the Ravens will come out a little rusty, and I think the Texans will just be able to pull away in the second half. And I think it's just gonna be continuing the magical start for CJ Stroud. And moving into the other one seed in the Niners and the Packers. Obviously, we know the Packers. They've been owning Dallas, but when we see the team that owns them, it's these 49ers. Now, can Jordan Love do what Aaron Rodgers before him couldn't do for years and years? I mean, it's going to turn, like what I just said. I do believe the Niners will come out a little rusty. I think Purdy's going to struggle a little bit, but he'll probably, pick it back up in the second half. And it all comes down to, how much they can, ease back before halftime. And we know with the 49ers, their biggest weakness is playing from behind. So the big thing here, when we look at halftime, if they're up, they're gonna win the game. If they're down, they're gonna lose. There's kind of no in between about it.
It's up to Brock Purdy. I mean, we saw what the Ravens did to him early in game. The pressure got to him.
And just looking at that Niners game, it's a big thing. And just all the games they lost, once they get down, that's kind of a big thing with Shanahan-led teams. Once they get down, they're not that good at playing from behind, and it's going to be a big thing to look at here. I really do think that they're going to do enough. I would love to see Jordan Love just pull this one out, but I see Brock Purdy willing this team back, and I mean, I think the Niners defense is going to be a big factor in this, and I see the Niners pulling this out, like a 4-point game. It's going to be a lot closer than a lot of people think. I mean, they're having the Niners is almost like 10-point favorites. It's not going to be that wide open. I think it's going to be a close enough game.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the Packers, their kryptonite is obviously the 49ers. Obviously, with their route, they really couldn't go in there from there. But obviously, the way Jordan Love, he really played against that Cowboys team, I mean, who knows? He could potentially light up this defense as well because, this Niners defense, it is another top defense for Jordan Love to face. But, I mean, who knows? Could have I want to say Cinderella story, but, a lot of people doubted him. I had my faith in Jordan Love, and it's paid off. Called them winning a playoff game. You brought it to my attention earlier. I called them winning a playoff game, beating the Niners in the divisional, but at what cost, But at least that take stands there. But regardless, it's gonna be another really good game to watch from there. And now moving on to potentially one of the bigger games storyline-wise, the Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs. Obviously, these two teams, they have some history in the playoffs. Obviously, in the wild card matchup, Chiefs got the upper hand there. And then obviously the most recent one, which is in the divisional, that overtime game, which is pretty I guess you could say a really not downfall, but it was a pretty horrible luck for Josh Allen. They changed the overtime rule for him, and still a bad record. He still has a losing record in overtime, but this is probably going to be the game where we all got to see. I mean, Josh Allen, we saw what he did to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, really, once Josh Allen gets going, that Bills team can really go for him. And after starting 6-6 and winning their last games, we saw what Josh Allen is capable of too. Obviously, the only downside with him is just the turnovers, the interceptions. I mean, from the game from the Steelers, I think he threw a pick, if I'm not mistaken. I honestly don't remember any turnovers.
He probably did, if we're being honest. I don't remember exactly, but that.
Yeah, I don't remember, but if he didn't, that's actually a perfect sign. But I'm guarding it there. But regardless of that, this Kansas City Chiefs defense, it's had a really big, it's been an upward trend since midseason. This defense has really improved. And it's not something to look at. Obviously, the offense has struggles a bit with the receivers, the drops, which we talked about a lot this season. But that defense, when it needs to get it done, it gets it done. Obviously, after that Philly loss, it kind of brought them up a bit, and that defense starting to look good. And obviously, that top dog on defense, Chris Jones. And let's not forget L'Jarius Sneed, who's been having, I wouldn't say an under the radar season. He's been pretty known, but that's someone we really haven't been talking about, which we really should have. But L'Jarius Sneed, he's been locking up a lot of number one receivers, and a really underrated season he's been having. So that's really going to be another big impact for whether he's going to be guarding Stephon Diggs or Gabe Davis. So wherever he lines up, it's going to be a huge impact. And Josh Allen, he's going to have to find ways to get this. And then Jared Cook, him in the run game, once he gets going, it's pretty hard for these pass rush defenses. James Cook, once he gets going, it's pretty hard for these teams to stop the run. I mean, we saw with the Cowboys game, all they did, they kept running at us, and James Cook, he just kept going. So that running game for the Buffalo Bills, it's going to be really impactful if they really want to get away with this. And then as for KC, Mahomes, his connection with Rashee Rice, it's going to be such a huge impact. I've been saying this all season. Rashee Rice, he's going to make a huge impact with this Kansas City Chiefs team, and he's been doing as what I've been saying. Him and Mahomes, once they get early going, that's another example. When they get early, especially in tight situations with close games, regardless if they need to regain a lead, Rashee Rice is his man. I know Travis Kelce, that's his go-to guy, but obviously, so he's been having
he's had his own struggles, so now who is going to have to step it up?
Yeah, Travis Kelce, he's had his little struggles here and there, but obviously, Rashee Rice, when he's there, he's got him. But, we're getting Buffalo, we're going with on Buffalo with this one. They're due for a win against Kansas City, and with the way their momentum's going with the Buffalo Bills, you would want to say Josh Allen, he's probably due for a really long playoff run.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, we're agreeing on this one. To me, it's going to come down to the defense and honestly, in big part, the secondary, which I do believe that Josh Allen's going to throw a pick. I mean, it kind of, game doesn't start until Josh Allen throws an interception, but I think apart from that, it's going to be a big thing on the Chiefs receivers, where we say, it's been their biggest issue. And I really do think that, it's going to rear its ugly head again. And that's going to be the difference. And I mean, I think a Bills secondary that's really been, they've really come into their own after, they've really been proving what we've been saying the whole season wrong. They like you said, that the Chiefs defense is back on the up, same thing with this Bills defense. And I think they're gonna get it, just a bit ahead. I believe it's gonna be a really close game. Probably Bills win on a late field goal, but it's gonna be definitely gonna finally see Josh Allen finally get the better of Mahomes. And we'll close this out with the big Sunday nighter here with the Buccaneers and the Lions. Obviously, two former Rams at quarterback here with Jared Goff and Baker Mayfield. And, as much as I want to say Baker Mayfield as which one, I want the Bucs to pull this one out. I really, looking at this, I think it's going to be Detroit. They're going to probably get another playoff win here in this one. And I think the biggest thing here, the key thing with them, it's always been the secondary. The offense is great, but how much will the secondary hold? And I mean, we saw they held pretty good against the Rams, so I don't really see the Bucs doing too much better. Just, all things considered. So at the end of the day, this one, yet again, gonna be a really close game. But I think, it's crazy to say, I think Jared Goff's gonna outplay Baker, considering how they've done recently. But it's just gonna be a really tight game, and I hate to say it because of how, you know, we've been seeing, you know, kind of look at the Lions a little in a different light because of the last game, but you know, and they're probably going to be in the NFC Championship.
Yeah, obviously, you know, I'm still gonna be rooting for Baker, obviously, on this one. Obviously, I was leaning towards Detroit, but with the way, you know, Baker's been doing, and I really, you know, want to see Baker succeed, you know, just so we have, you know, a little bit parity in these picks, you know, Baker Mayfield. I mean, what he saw with Philly, I mean, that's not much to say. Philly was already on the decline. There was a lot of injuries both sides of the ball, but I mean, what they're able to do there with Baker, it's you know, if you do have a shot at Detroit, especially with their weak secondary and Mike Evans, he's got to play a big part, you know, with his drop passes in the last game that, you know, I think he missed out. I don't know if he hit 100 yards or even missed out on 100 yards from those drop passes, but, you know, those drop passes were really crucial. And with Mike Evans, you know, these drops against Detroit, they're going to, you know, come back to bite him. So Mike Evans, he's going to really have to be on his heels with this one. And then, yeah, nothing much to say there, but, you know, with Baker, if he's consistent early in the game, you know, he's actually timing his throws and he's not getting, you know, hopefully that O-line doesn't, you know, put too much pressure on him. Baker in the pocket, he's going to do just fine, but, you know, got to roll with my man Baker here, unfortunately.
Yeah, as much as I want to go with Baker too, you know, I really do think the Lions are going to get it. So that's, you know, for me, yeah, unfortunately, you know, Jared Goff keeps his run going, but, you know, that wraps up the divisional preview. And before we go, we got, I guess, you know, just something else to kind of extend this video. We got obviously some big news for you, and I'll just let you open this one up.
Yeah, so obviously some news from yesterday. Obviously from I believe it was Tuesday to Wednesday. Jerry Jones was gonna have a meeting with McCarthy, discuss his tenure, and with Dak Prescott. And yesterday in the evenings, you know, McCarthy's coming back for fifth season. Fourth season. Excuse me.
No, I'll be his fifth. Yeah.
Yeah, fifth season. Yeah, I got the numbers. Excuse me. Yeah. So he's coming out for his fifth season, his last year on his contract. Obviously, a lot of people don't like this. I, you know, kind of mixed feelings about this, but obviously, really looking into it, you know, is it really the coaching or is it really Jerry Jones? I mean, sure, yes, the coaching, it is there. The coaching's not all there.
You've had a lot to say about the coaching in the past couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't know, a lot of mixed feelings here and there. But I know the coaching's a big deal, but with McCarthy finding another head coach to obviously build a relationship with Dak, that's where I was kind of going through. I mean, his relationship with Dak, it's phenomenal what they built from his tenure here in Dallas. And, you know, I don't think Dak Prescott, it'll be a little, I wouldn't say difficult, but I don't think it would be the same, him building another relationship with another head coach. I feel like McCarthy, you know, him as a duo, that's probably what the thing kind of gets that going. And obviously, you know, all the other coaches with Dan Quinn, that's another thing I want to get into. Dan Quinn, he's going to stay if he doesn't get a head coaching job, which is the obvious choice, but he's most likely going to. And, you know, a lot of people, I know I had my things on Dan Quinn, but, you know, look what he did with Dallas. You know, he did, you know, build a defense that, you know, was a contending defense for the most part for the last 2 years. A defense that,
probably this season.
A defense that, you know, Tony Romo never had in his career. He's never had, I believe he's only had like a top 10 defense once or twice in his career. Never had a strong defense like that. Rob Marinelli really couldn't cook up anything. Dan Quinn, I obviously got to give him his flowers for building such a top defense for these past couple of years. And obviously had some bad games here and there, but obviously another defensive coordinator that could live up to these expectations. I don't know. Any coach, I'm going to say any coach can probably succeed with this. We have like I said, we have the players, just both players on the lost side of the ball. You want defense, you got DeMarcus Lawrence, Michael Parsons, Malik Hooker, Trayvon Diggs, Jordan Lewis. You want offense, Dak, Tony Pollard, which I hope he has a good season. And then Jake Ferguson, big shout out to him. The only guy that actually came out, really like seeing him as our tight end on everything. And then with Dak Prescott, he's going to get the extension regardless. You know, feelings aside, like I said, Dak's going to be our guy to obviously his contract. So he's obviously going to get an extension, I would assume, with less money after that playoff game. But regardless of what happens, once Jerry Jones is still here in the Dallas Cowboys, I don't see this team really going anywhere in the playoffs. Probably going to pull up some, you know, another choke job with another 12-5 season and then losing the wild card, or like you said, 10-7 wild card exit.
Yeah, I mean, really once again, we know what's been going on in the NFC East for 17 years now. No repeat champions, so probably see the Eagles win it. We'll see you guys sneak into the 5 seed and see. Yeah, I mean, hey, maybe you'll beat someone in the NFC. What is it? South. There you go.
Yeah, but regardless, once Jerry Jones is here, he's got to take accountability and, you know, look into it that he's the reason why this team's not going to go far. He wants, you know, what everyone's been saying lately. He wants a puppet. He wants a coach that he can have under his thumb and be in control, which, you know, that's the reason we're not winning.
And that's why you guys wouldn't even go for Belichick.
Exactly, because
Like, he
Belichick,
wouldn't be able to get that.
Belichick's the guy. He wants to control the team. He's just like Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy Johnson wants to focus on his team, and that's what got Jerry Jones upset. And he fired his ass. And we've been having mediocrity for these almost 30 years. But once again, Jerry Jones is here. Forget it, Cowboys Nation. You know, once again, we're gonna be depressed every single season. And with the Jimmy Johnson in the Ring of Honor, looks like the curse isn't broken until Jerry either drops dead, or if he just steps down for GM, which is probably the best bet here. If he steps down from GM,
which he won't. I mean, he's too proud for that. He's not
yeah,
leaving
a lot of
his
it's surprised anything, but you know, we'll just gotta wait till the offseason, draft, OTAs, and see where this team goes.
Yeah, obviously, you know, you said this would be short. Obviously, you know, once again, you know, you got very impassioned about it.
Yeah.
I'll always gonna yell about that. I mean, you know, thankfully ever since, you know, we hired McVay, I haven't had to have these struggles that you've had. I mean, sure, there's always those little concerns, but I guess, you know, Rams fans have been pretty lucky to keep him as much as we have. You know, I guess can't even complain about Stan Kroenke as much. You know, he's done his part. Of course, that's gonna wrap us up. That was just a little rant to close us out. That does it for the divisional preview. That was probably more of a Cowboys rant for Christian at the end of the day. So we'll see you guys to wrap up to recap all these games. Hope you guys liked the video. Hope you like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys back for that recap.